I tell my children and my grandchildren all the time, if you ever need to know anything and you need to know what to do and what not to do, you look in Sefer Bereshis. And the first parak in Sefer Bereshis is Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. God created the world in the beginning, and he created the heavens and the earth, and then we go on, and he finally creates Adam Harishon, the first man. And what makes man different than the animal kingdom? God gave us a very special gift, the gift of language and the gift of choice, bechira. I had to make a choice. So with these choices that Kadosh Baruch Hu Hashem gave Adam Harishon, we now have scientists, we have mathematicians, we have teachers, we have writers, we have technicians, we have all different kinds of people in all different world segments of society, all because God gave us that gift of choice. When you get a gift, you use it, you embrace it, you keep it, you enjoy it. You don't throw it away. So Hashem gave me that gift through Adam Harishon and down through the generations of choice. I had a choice to make. I chose to get up, get out of my rocking chair, stop feeling sorry for myself. It would accomplish absolutely nothing. I went to work, went back to work, enjoyed my job, had my children, and continued with my life. And as it was going on, my vision was going away. I was losing my vision gradually. Thank God not as quickly as the doctors had predicted. I didn't go totally blind. Actually, I lost the ability to see shadow about 2 years ago. Until then, I was still able to see shadow. During that entire time that I was losing my vision, we had to look at another parsha, Parshas Vayetze Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu had to leave his home, didn't know where he was going, didn't know what he was going to do, left the environment of his grandfather Avram Avinu and his father Yitzchak Avinu, and now he's been thrown into the outside world and hasn't got a clue where he's going, what he's going to do, and what he's going to find when he gets there. He's tired, he takes 12 stones, puts them together, makes himself a pillow, and he goes to sleep. And he has this very strange dream. A ladder that doesn't start anywhere and it doesn't end anywhere, but there are people going up and down a whole night long, and he doesn't know what's going on. Gets up in the morning and he sees that his 12 stones have now turned into one stone, and he looks around him and he says, Hashem b'makom hazeh v'lo yodati. God is in this place and I didn't know. How is it that he didn't know? Because he only knew the environment of where he lived. He only knew that Hashem is in that place. Didn't know that Hashem is going to be with him no matter where he goes. And that's when he found this out. So that's another gift that we have learned from Yaakov Avinu, which is Kadosh Baruch Hu is always with us no matter where we go, no matter what we do, no matter how we do it. He's always with us. People ask me all the time, how do you manage? How do you do what you have to do? I said, I don't worry. Kadosh Baruch Hu's with me all the time. I don't worry. My behavior, my personal behavior is whatever I can control and I can take care of, I do it. What I can't do, I walk away. It's not my problem. I can't deal with it. I can't do it. I can't change it. So why should I worry about it? I have always maintained this behavior, and I tell people this all the time. I don't have a disability. I am not handicapped. I have an inability. That means I am not able to read. I am not able to drive, but I can do everything else. And I take all these various little devices that I will show you to help me manage and do what it is that I have to get done. The first thing I would like to show you is my cane. Now this is a navigator cane. I'm catching on the wires. Here we go. This is my navigator cane. This allows me to maneuver on the street. I can figure out where the grass is, where the sidewalk is. When I get to the street, where the curb. Is there a crack in the street? Is there a hole in the street? Of course. So I have to be careful. So this helps me not to fall into the hole and not to trip on the crack. When I get to somewhere that I need to be, and this is going to be in my way, it folds up. So I can fold it and be careful not to pinch myself in the process. I can fold it and I can put it away. Now it's out of my way. I take it to weddings. I don't walk around with this all over the place. I put it away when I get there and I open it when I'm ready to leave. That's one item that I have that allows me to manage. So I brought various devices here that I use on a regular, steady basis in my home that allows me to do what it is that I have to do. I do my own shaitels, I do my own makeup, I figure out what I'm going to wear myself. The skirt that I'm wearing, I make the skirt, I sew, I knit, I crochet. I do all of these things. I no longer can do needlepoint. I can no longer embroider for the simple reason I can't see the pattern, so I can't follow it, but I can still embroider and I can still crochet, but I'm in needlepoint. But it has to be just random. It can't be any particular design. I'm going to be passing a few things around so that you can get an idea, but before I do that, I want to show you the various devices that allow me to function in my home and allow me to function outside of my home and allow me to do whatever it is that I need to get done in order to manage. My kids come to me for Yom Tov very often. I do all my own cooking. I do all my own baking. The only thing I cannot do is fry. So I prepare the schnitzel. It's all ready to go. Somebody will come over and they'll fry it up for me. Hamburgers, the same thing. They're made, they're ready to go. Somebody comes and fries them up for me. But everything else I do myself. I do not put foil pans into the oven because I have to hold them with two hands and then I can't go into the oven and reach in to touch the oven rack so I can guide the other pan with one hand to put it in the oven. So I always use aluminum pans. I never use foil by myself. If I need to prepare a cake or anything that has to be put in the freezer, or if I give it to somebody, then I have to have somebody come over and put it in the oven for me. Once it's baked, I can take it out. But once it's in a liquid form and I need to hold two hands to put it in, where am I going to put it? I can't find the rack. So that's how I manage to do that. I always use aluminum. I'm going to pass around my Braille book. So I have everything is marked in Braille at home, or dots, bump dots, and I'm going to show you also my measuring cup that I use. It's also marked with dots, so I know what measuring cup I need, the half a cup, the third of a cup, the quarter of a cup. So I'm going to show you the half a cup. You'll see the dots are right here, 2 dots, that's half a cup. So if you want to pass that around, that would help. And this are the 2 of these stuff I'm going to cut. All right, this is my color machine. Now this is a great little, device. It's twofold. One, it tells me the color, and the bottom one, it helps me find light. If I'm in a room that's very dark and I'm not really sure where I am, I put it down to the floor, and as it hits the light, it gets louder. And then I know that that's the door or that's a window, so I can follow the beam or the sound of the beam in order for me, with my navigator cane, I can get out of the room safely. That's the first thing that I do. And the other thing is it reads color. Did you hear that? It said it black, and my skirt is blue. Did you hear that, dark blue? Okay. This skirt I told you I made. So this helps me get dressed in the morning so that I don't look like I fell out of some kind of showroom putting everything on to get dressed, because I'll look ridiculous. So I check my clothing every morning. I take it out for Shabbos. Obviously I can't use this on Shabbos. I prepare all my clothes Erev Shabbos. so that when it comes to Shabbos, it's already ready for me. I know what I'm going to wear. I have an Alexa that tells me what the weather is supposed to be. When I'm baking and I have to time my cookies, I'll set a timer and I'll get the cookies ready and I'll tell her, Alexa, set a 12-minute timer for the top cookies. That means the ones that are going on the top rack, and then again for the ones that are going on the bottom rack. When the 12 minutes are up, she calls me and lets me know, 12 minutes, your top cookies are ready. Take them out, put in the next batch. The veal roast, and I'll tell you exactly where it is. It's over here. It's in this kind of a package. It's right there. It's underneath there. They came back 3 times, no veal. I said, but I told you, Bubby, we can't find it. I said, okay. I went downstairs, put my hand in, and took out the veal. I said, here, you can carry it up because I can't. And they said, but Bubby, how did you know where it was? I said, but I told you where I put it. If I put it away, I know where it is. My closets at home are organized in the same fashion. The black skirts are in this hanger. The other skirts are in that hanger. The ones that I use for cleaning and cooking are on this hanger. Everything else is in the middle, and I use my color finder to help me find what it is that I need. Now, I also, my favorite hobby, I have basically 3 hobbies: cooking, baking, knitting, and crocheting. So I brought for you to show you what I do. If somebody could take me, this scarf is knitted, and this blanket is crocheted. And I also brought the actual crocheting here to show you how I do this, because I don't see, obviously. And as I said before, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me all the time. My fingers, my eyes are in my fingers, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in my eyes. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is allowing me the ability to do what I have to do. I have girls from the high school who do my shopping. I make up a list. It's very funny. I write it out for them. I make the list on Alexa, and whenever I run out of something, I'll tell her, Alexa, put this on my shopping list, put bananas on my shopping list, put tomato sauce on my shopping list, whatever it is that I need. And I write it out for the girls, and they come and they said, but Bubby, who wrote this for you? I said, I wrote it, but how did you write it? And they can't figure, still haven't, they're not convinced that I'm blind, but that's okay. Because I write, I crochet, as you can see, I'm doing it here. Those people who participate in Rabbi Meyer's shir, I feel the hands, and then I know what time it is. And I'm sorry? A braille sitter. I could get a braille sitter. I had a braille sitter, but it was transliterated to English. And you know what it is for somebody who's learned how to daven in Hebrew to try to daven in English? I was tripping over, I didn't know what I was saying. Literally, I really did not know what I was saying, and it was very unfortunate. So I gave it back. I did not use it. I found that this is much better for me. Now I have here a recipe, I don't even know if it's upside down, we'll find out, that I typed up yesterday from a cookbook that I love. It's a mystery cookbook, and she has the greatest cookie recipes, so I copy them. And I was busy yesterday copying about maybe 15 recipes I haven't finished. And I use a special program from my computer called JAWS. And what that is no, that's somebody else is talking, okay. And that I use JAWS, and as I type, it also tells me what I'm typing by letter, by word, and how it is that I have to manage and function. I can get everything done. So I am going to open up Seeing AI. It's a special program. It's a reader program. I have a permanent one in my home that if I need it, it's called the iPal Solo. I use this phone only for this device and when I travel out of the house. During the day, this phone is off. Anybody who needs to call me can call me on my house phone. When I travel, I put my house phone on call forwarding so that if I am out of town, I have access to my phone if I need to. This phone is used only to make phone calls, to receive phone calls. I don't surf the web. I don't go on YouTube. I don't do any of that. I don't email. I don't text. Forget it. It's not happening. I use it strictly as a reading device and a means of walking. There are apps on this phone that will help guide me. The Navigator program for walking, not just for driving. It's GPS and Waze that you can use for walking, not just driving. So let me see if I can get it to open for me. Hey, see, open Seeing AI. Are you? Here we go. All right, now I'm going to pick it up and hopefully it'll read it.
Bullet Valley until Knitting's right. Tracy 7410 Rena's T. Sexy. Ingspot DDH 200 OSPA 2000 0 7410 40,000 7 a G. B. Rings Hasm. Tens. Chip 7 a G. 1012.
I probably picked up the wrong paper.
1155.
It's not the right one. I'm sorry. I thought I had the right one. I don't. I'm sorry. I thought I had picked up the right paper, but I did not pick up the right paper. So that's the end of that. So, but it does work. Trust me, it does work. I use it all the time at home. So I've used my color coder, by the way, in the kitchen. Sometimes when I put my red pepper and my green pepper away and I'm not sure which one I've got, I use my color coder and I put it on the pepper and it tells me what color I'm working with. So that's a lot of fun also. Now I have here, people ask me all the time, how do you do things in the kitchen? All the things that I gave out, if they could be passed up here, I'd appreciate it. I have here a cucumber. No, all the things that I gave out.
She did her watch, her knitting,
Yeah, all
her
of that
crocheting.
stuff. Yeah. So there feels like there's something else in this one. Oh, these are the bags. Okay. I have here my knife that a lot of ladies who sit at my table are quite aware of what I have here because I bring my knife every Friday for the cooking program that I'm involved with here. And it's Anna Steinberg's program, and I have become the unofficial advisor. Why, I don't know, but I did. And so we make all these wonderful, nice things every Friday, and I always bring my own knife. So
And her recipe.
and my recipes, right. All right, so here's an onion. I'm going to peel and cut this onion and show you how I do it. And I have a plastic bag, so after I cut it, I'll be able to show it, you'll be able to feel it, and I'll give it to everybody so you can see what I'm doing. First, I'm peeling it. I'm going to cut this onion in half. Half of it is going to be very finely minced for salad. The other half will be chopped normally for cooking. Let me finish peeling this. I always take off the first layer. This way I know I've taken off all the peel. All right, here's my cutting board. Move that away. Move that away. And I put it on the cutting board. That wasn't good. Okay, here we go. Can you still see it?
Yes.
Okay.
How did you make it go? Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay, I've cut them in half. All right, this one I'm going to be cutting very finely. That little piece didn't want to cut. And just for everybody, in case anybody is interested, a trick to make sure you don't cry when you do onions, keep your onions in the refrigerator. And for some reason, I don't know why, I heard it once and I don't remember, there's something with the cold, you can either keep it or you can put them into ice water for 15 minutes and you will not cry. Or you can wear glasses.
Or contacts.
Contacts or glasses.
Yeah.
All right, these are the small onions. If you want to pass that around so people can see that, that would help. And where's the other one? This one I'm cutting up into larger pieces because I'll use this for sauteing. Okay, now I'll get the other plastic bag here.
I don't see it.
It's in here. I brought 4 bags. 2 for the onion and 2 for the cucumber. Okay. Thank you. Okay, where's my knife? There we go. All right, this is an English cucumber. They're very nice because you don't have to always peel them. I sometimes peel them and sometimes I don't. It all depends on my mood. So I'm not going to peel them today. Okay, you'll forgive me. Take off the plastic.
Yeah, she does a great job.
And get the little end off that I can't stand. And then I'm going to cut these in half because it makes it just a nicer cut when you're eating a salad, not to get this big piece of cucumber in your mouth. So here we go. It was very funny. I helped somebody prepare for a bris. This was a while ago. I still had better vision than I have now, obviously. And the girls were cutting cucumber. And I said, girls, not the way to go. You're not peeling. I think I'm off the thing. There we go. And so I had to show them how to do the cucumber. So they went home and told their mother, who told me afterwards, she said, you have to see Mrs. Giffin cut a cucumber. They couldn't figure out how I did that. But as you can see how I did that. It's not hard. That's the peel. Let me get the other bag. Why am I finding the bag? It's in here. There we go. Just do one half of them because I see I have enough that I can do.
Know when you have to turn the range top on.
Oh, I was gonna get to that. Everything on my stove is marked. My ovens are marked. My microwaves are marked. My dishwashers are marked. They're called high marks, either with Braille. I have a special, can you fix that around? We have special high marks that you can put on any device, and my microwaves, everything is marked. And the way I cook, say I want to make, but this Sunday I'm going to make chow mein, chicken chow mein. So how am I going to do all of this? I can't bring it to the stove back and forth. And where's my knife? Here we go. So what do? I take the frying pan onto the counter. I cut all my vegetables, put everything into the frying pan. I bring the frying pan to the stove cold. I don't turn on the stove until I center the frying pan onto the stove. Then I turn on my fire. Now, most stoves, you always get the highest fire first, so you turn that on, and then you can adjust it accordingly, depending on how high you want it. Now, I have acute hearing, Baruch Hashem, so I can hear how high that fire is by the sound. The other way is that you can figure it out by when you turn your stove from, let's say here's off, and you're turning it this way. If you turn it straight down, that's medium. If you continue turning to the right, it's low. And anytime I have to add anything to that pot or anything to that frying pan or the pot, whatever it is, I turn the fire off all the way down to low so that I don't have to deal with any fire around the pot. I don't have to worry that my apron or my clothing will get caught with it. I don't have to deal with any of that because there isn't any flame under that pot that could ever reach me. And if I'm not sure that it's not that good, I turn it off completely. And then I just turn it back on. When I have to put spaghetti into, I want to make macaroni and cheese or spaghetti, whatever it is that I want to do, I just do the same thing. When it's time to put the spaghetti into the pot, I can hear it boiling. I know how long it's been boiling for. I put it in, and then I turn off the fire. And I take all the little flaps of the box of spaghetti, make sure I have a clear opening, and then I bring the box up to the edge of the pot, and then I flip it in, and I'm done. Let's go around. So this way, I know what I'm doing. It makes it so much easier for me to maneuver in that way. And I don't even think about it anymore. I just kind of just do it. And I find that it works. So I don't look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say. And as I say all the time, I don't worry. Kadosh Baruch Hu's watching me. It's making sure I stay safe, making sure that I know what it is that I have to do. And then I just do it. I do, like I said, I do all my own cooking and baking. And what time is it now? Can someone tell me? I can do it myself.
1:37.
Okay, we have time, yes. And no, because I wanted to hand some things out, but we can wait. Let me just put this in here because it's not that clean and I don't want it to go into the bag. So just bear with me for a minute here. Here we go. And I do, as I said, the important thing that we have to remember, I'm going to give you a little bit of hashkafa here and a little bit of my own personal methods of how I do things and why I don't do certain things. The important thing is to remember is safety. If you're not sure that what you're going to do is going to keep you safe, don't do it. Don't do it. Safety is the clue. If I don't feel, I promised because I don't use my cane on Shabbos, I don't use the Eruv. So I promised my children, I will not walk on Shabbos without somebody to walk with me. If I want to go to a shir and nobody is going, I don't go. I'm not going to go by myself. If nobody is going to shul when I need to go to shul, I'll make arrangements to go with somebody else who will go later, but I won't go alone. Because safety is the key. I won't do anything in the house that I don't feel is safe. I cannot carry anything down to my freezer. I've got 12 stairs down because I can't carry it with two hands and hold on to the railing to make sure that I'm going to get down those stairs safely. So I don't do it. I leave it in the freezer upstairs. I put it in the refrigerator. I call one of my kids or one of the neighbors. Can you do me a favor? I need this to be brought downstairs. Do you have time? And everybody always asks me, how come everybody does everything for you? I say very simply, because I don't make demands. I always say, my kids are very busy. Baruch Hashem, they have families. They have young families. They're busy. They're lucky they get their own supper on the table. I should ask them to do mine? No, I do theirs. But what do? I say, look, I need this to be done. Whenever you have a chance, can you do it for me? And when I do it that way, it always gets done. And then if I need to have an emergency situation, I need it to be done right now, I know I can ask them because they know that I am not that demanding of their time. And you have to be considerate. If you're asking someone to do you a favor, you have to be considerate of their time. I am. I take it very carefully. I'm very happy when somebody can do something for me. And it's a question of Hakaras Hatov. I gave a whole share to the Beis Yaakov, 4th through 8th grade, several years back, quite a few years ago, actually. And I talked about Hakaras Hatov. Hakaras Hatov is gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything that we have in our lives. And the only way you can do Hakaras Hatov is if you appreciate what's being done for you in the first place. If there are going to be certain things that people cannot do for themselves. A person who needs a wheelchair has to always have somebody there to be able to take them and do for them when they have to. That's a different level of need. That's a different level of Hakaras Hatov. And everybody, we have to always understand and realize what is our level of Hakaras Hatov, and that we have to be moded to HaKadosh Baruch Hu every minute of every day for all those wonderful gifts that we have. I'm grateful that I have a color finder. I am grateful that I have an ID mate that allows me to be independent. And that's the key, to be as independent as you possibly can manage to do for yourself. What you can't manage, you can't manage. You can't worry about it. It's not in your control. What you can't control, you walk away. But what you can control, do it the best way you can. Sit down, take the few minutes. I do this all the time. Figure out what you can do and how to do it. It took me a while to figure out the best way for me to cook is to bring the frying pan to the counter, put everything in it, because recipes will tell you let the oil get hot and put in this ingredient and put that in. Forget it. It's not happening in my house. I can't do that. It's not safe. I put everything all at once. I bring it to the stove. And then I hear the sizzle of the oil starting to fry those onions. Then I lower the heat. And then I'm standing there with my spoon and I'm stirring it and I'm arranging it. And by the smell and the sound, I can tell if those onions and the green pepper and the garlic And the celery and the mushrooms are getting brown or just transparent. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. So when you know that and you have that and underneath your strength, your koach, then you can manage. Then it's time to add the other ingredients. It's time to do the other things. I had to modify certain recipes because I couldn't do it. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. If I had somebody there to help me, that's fine. But if they're not there and I want it, I have to figure out how am I going to do this? As they say in Yiddish, it's like in Katze über dem Wasser. How's that cat going to get over the water? You've got to figure it out. And so I try very, very hard to figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, I'll make something else. My daughter and son-in-law lived with me twice, the first time 15 months, the second time 11 months. And I asked, they lived with me in the first 3 months. Also, a granddaughter came back from Eretz Yisrael, and she didn't know where she was going to be moving. She could not move home. There wasn't room for us, Baruch Hashem. And so, Bubby, can we stay in your basement? Sure. COVID time. I said, sure. They moved in for the first 3 months. Neither my daughter and son-in-law or my grandchildren ever got the same meal twice for 3 months. They had something different every night for 3 months. And then they started asking me, can you repeat this meal? This was really good. Can you do it again? So, and then I started to repeat. But Baruch Hashem, I'm not afraid to try something new. If it sounds really interesting, I'll do it. And if I don't like it, I will do it again. Not a problem. This is how I keep myself grounded. This is how I keep myself focused. I come to the Mitzvah campaign every Thursday, Rabbi Meyer's share. I come on Friday morning to do the cooking program. I make up the recipes. I figure out what we should do and how we should do it. I have people coming to my home and I cook with them and I bake with them. I show them how to do it. I have children coming from a day camp. They've come twice and we baked cookies and I show them how to use my color finder. I bring my Braille book for them to look through just to kind of identify a little bit to them what it is to be blind, which they of course don't know. My granddaughter teaches in the Weizsäcker Cheder and she said, Bubby, can I bring my first grade class to the house? I said, sure. I live just down the block. So they came, 30 boys, I think she had. They all came and they sat and I showed them all of my devices and they all went home with 2 cookies from my freezer and they were very happy and they all told their parents and they told this one mother came to carpool and she was telling her what she was talking to her son. So she said, oh, Mrs. Giffin must have been so happy to see her granddaughter. Said, Mommy, she's blind. She can't see her granddaughter. Oh, I'm sure she was so happy that all of you boys were there and she could see you all there. She said, but I told you, you're not hopping. She's blind. This went on for 5 minutes. He couldn't get to her to understand the concept that she's seeing, but she's not really seeing. I have a neighbor that I go there very often for Shabbos and Yiddish speakers. And this little boy and I have we've bonded very, very tightly. And I haven't been there for a couple of weeks. And I said, Meidlach, hat nicht gesehen, schon 2 Wochen. And he looked at his mother and he said, is that my phone? No, because I have the same ring. She said, he asked her, can she see me now? Because I told him I didn't see you. So you have to be careful sometimes with young children, what term you use, because they don't understand that today you can't see and tomorrow maybe you can. But the situation is that, yes, I joke about it and yes, I talk about it because to keep it a secret is only going to cause me harm. It's not going to do me any good. The more people who know I have a problem, the better off I am because they'll be more careful. For me, I go to the shir and I come out of the shir. This one says, no, wait for me. I'm going to come and I'll help you. I wait and I let them come and help me. Can I get out on my own? Yes. Why am I waiting? For 2 reasons. One, right now I can get out on my own, but what happens if next week I can't? And I ask this person, can you help me? And she'll tell me, well, I offered last week. You didn't need me. So, you're on your own. That's one. 2, I'm denying that person the ability and the possibility of helping somebody. It gives them a good feeling. And why not? It doesn't take anything away from me to make her feel good about what she's doing. Vital, very important, because you never know when there's going to come a time when you will not be able to do it. And then you're going to be stuck. So why be stuck? Let them help you. I don't complain. There's nothing to complain about. Baruch Hashem, my kids are healthy. I am healthy as far as I know. And I can manage. I come and I go. I volunteered for the Chicago Mitzvah campaign when they were still on TUI for almost 4 years. I gave a Yiddish class every week. And we had music and we had Yiddish. I taught them various words and here and there, and we used them. We had conversation. And it was a wonderful program. The women, the men, the people who came enjoyed it tremendously. So you just never know how you can touch someone and how is it going to be accepted. I was in Lakewood now between February 24th and March the 4th. I had 2 grandchildren, got married in Lakewood. I spoke 11 times to various high schools, seminaries, and a 2nd grade. I didn't bring the book with me, but they wrote a book to kind of talk about what I spoke about, how they heard it, how they accepted it, how they incorporated it. And it's incredible to hear what these 2nd graders were saying. One girl said, Mrs. Giffin said that a lot of people have issues and not everybody is the same, which is true. We all have something.
Mhm.
There's always an inability that somebody cannot do for whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. She said, I sneeze a lot, but that's okay. Mrs. Giffin said it was okay. And then one girl said, I was just blown away from her. She said, when I will daven with stronger kavanah when I say Pokei Achivrim. 2nd grade. The fact that I got to them on that level made everything worthwhile. You just don't know. And so that's why people say, you mean you're going to talk about yourself? I said, yeah, I'm going to talk about myself. Because you never know what you can do and what you cannot do until you try. So I try. And I'm going to stop now unless somebody has questions. Anybody have questions? I'm happy to answer them if I can.
To know where to buy to get all the equipment, like for
All of
know
my
what
stuff.
color you're wearing.
Yeah, my equipment, where I got it from, is I got it through the Department of Rehabilitative Services through the government. You can purchase it on your own through a catalog called LS&S. You can get it from the Lighthouse for the Blind. A lot of these various catalogs that are made especially for hearing and vision impaired, they have all of these devices available through that. It's not cheap. I'm being honest with you, I think it was $250. I have some devices that are $2,500, but I can't be without them. So it's a question of what you have to evaluate. What are you going to get from this device? Does it justify the cost or not? Like my ID Mate is $1,500 when I bought it. I don't know what it costs today, but I can't manage without it. So for me, that $1,500 has paid for itself. I can't begin to tell you how many times when I want to make meat sauce and I'm not pouring in a can of cranberry sauce. I'm pouring in tomato sauce because that little device is telling me you've got tomato sauce in your hand. So there's always that give or take. There's an evaluation of time versus money versus need and versus safety. So you have to take all of these various things and evaluate it and figure out for yourself what's important. I have Orcam glasses. I have a lot of different reading devices because this way when I go to my children, I can read books to my grandchildren.
Wow.
They love it. We sit down, Bubby, can you read me a book? Sure, come. And we read. And they think this is the greatest thing that ever happened.
It is.
So it is. It really, when you stop and think about it, it really truly is.
It is.
That I can do these things with my grandchildren and be available for them. I've taught my girls how to knit. I've taught them how to crochet. One daughter now has a shaitel repair course that she learned how to, she can put hair into shaitels because I taught her how to crochet. It's all based on crocheting. So you never know where it's going to go from here. So are there any other questions? Did I get all my things
Oh, you
back,
got
by
quite
the
a
way?
few questions.
Okay, so we
Mrs.
have
Giffin, I
time.
just wanted to say one thing. My name is Sandy Minkus. I
Okay.
had the distinct benefit of having your husband as my
Oh, I
Rebbe
remember you, of
in
course.
HTC.
Yeah.
And he was a wonderful Rebbe, an
Thank you.
outstanding individual, responsible, very
Yeah.
respectful. I got a lot, and I got a lot from your presentation.
Oh, well,
so
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Hi, I
And-
have a question.
Yes.
Your memory is amazing. And I want to know if you've experienced any age-related memory loss?
Yeah, sometimes I do something, so did I do that yet? Yeah, I did that, but I have to think about it. Sometimes I'll lose words, what I'm talking about. And I think a lot of that is not so much age-related, I think it's non-usage. Those words that I use all the time, they're at my fingertips. I know what I'm doing, yeah. It's, so I've never had it checked and I don't intend to. So if somebody tells me something and I forget, remind me. That's all I can tell you. Anybody else? Yes.
Can you restart your Yiddish class? I'd love to make it.
Well, you talk to Lisa.
The second-
That's Lisa's department.
Okay, the second one is, could you tell us the story of how you met your husband?
Okay. There was a school in Chicago called the Chicago Jewish Academy, which is now the Ida Crown Academy. And the academy was the school, if you didn't go to the academy or you didn't go to the Hebrew Parochial School in the West Side or Erie Crown Central Hebrew Day School in Albany Park, you went to public school. Those were the only schools that you could go to get any kind of Yiddish education, any connection to Jewish people, anything like from people, anything. So we, of course, graduated elementary school and everybody went to the academy. And my husband was also there. He was 2 years ahead of me in school. When I started school, that's when the Chicago public school systems changed from a 6-month program to a 1-year program. So we had to accelerate it. I actually graduated a year after him. And we were friends in high school. We knew each other in high school. We were good friends. He went to Eretz Yisrael. He went to Kerem B'Yavneh to learn. The following year, I left and I went to kibbutz for a year, came back. He was already at the HTC in the Smicha program with Rabbi Mordechai Rogov Zatzal, and then later on with Reverend Soloveitchik Zatzal. And we met and we decided, okay, this is it. We're getting married. And we got married.
And you were cited at that
I
time.
was sighted, but losing my sight,
Mhm.
not realizing that I was losing my sight. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. Once my children were born, we were very concerned. How was it going to happen? I'm cooking, I'm doing things. The babies are on the floor. I put jingle bells on a string, on a shoelace, and I tied it around their waist. So when they were crawling, I could hear them. Couldn't see them, but I could hear them. And if I looked down, because my central vision was still good, I would look down and I would see them. So I wasn't going to carry that hot pot of boiling water from the stove to the sink to drain the macaroni until they were out of the way. When they were very, very little, I kept the playpen in the kitchen and they were in the playpen, they were safe. When they started walking, I put bells on their shoes. I tied their shoelaces. There was a shoelace protector that had a jingle bell on it, and I made sure to buy those, and I had bells on them, so every time they walked, I heard them. And then as they got older and they realized I had difficulty seeing, they were very careful. I had a toy box in the living room. Every night, the toys got put away so I shouldn't trip on them. The kids knew. But my grandchildren, I would go upstairs to sleep, and the kids were at the house for Yontif, and there were toys all over the place. Everywhere. You couldn't take a step. They heard me coming, they saw me coming down the stairs, or they heard me, this Bubby's coming, clean up quick. And they would clean up and make a path for me to get to where I like to sit. They were careful. Thank God I never had a situation where my children were in danger because I couldn't see. I was never in danger because of them, because I couldn't see. I did what I could. I made my maternity clothes. I made my two of my older daughters, I made their maternity clothes. It's the funniest story. My second daughter was in Lakewood, and I had made her an entire maternity wardrobe. I made her 13 different outfits that could be interchanged. And she had to get this job, and everybody was pulling strings. She's got to get this job. She's got to got the job. The principal sees her and she says, I can't take it anymore. She's okay, what did I do? I mean, why can't you? She said, you made us crazy to get this job. You need the money, but can you tell me why for the last month you haven't worn the same maternity clothes twice? So my daughter started laughing. So the principal thought she was kind of angry. She, what do you mean you're laughing at me? She said, you don't understand. My mother made these clothes for me. So she said, can I have her phone number? So it's a question of, I did what I could when I could. Now that I can't, I do what I can. I do all my own alterations. If the collar on my blouse is not right, if something gets stretched out, I'll fix it. I make my own snoods. I cut bathrobes that are too long. Had somebody help me cut because that I can't do. And she cut it for me, but I made the snood to match. So what's so bad? I manage, I function, I do for myself. I gave a speech in Lakewood now to a 10th grade in the high school. They were doing a chesed program. They wanted me to talk about chesed. And I said, chesed is important. I receive chesed, but at the same time, I receive chesed, but I have to give back chesed. How do I give back chesed? I cook, I bake, I help people on the phone. How do you do this? And how do you do that? I help people when they're lost. I help them get home. I don't drive. I've never driven, but I can tell you the highways in Chicago. But I do what I can, and what I can't, I walk away from. I don't stress over it. It's just not worth it. I don't complain. What for? What am I going to complain about? I have what I have. I'm fine. I'm healthy. My kids are fine. There's food on my table. I have a house to go to. I have friends. Perfect.
Mindy, tell them about the flight to Israel, how you fly by yourself.
Oh.
Pamela.
It's my very good friend. I fly to Israel by myself. I fly everywhere by myself. I don't go with a companion. And I make arrangements with security, and I always make sure that I get wheelchair. And if I don't, God help the airline, because I had a situation so soon, and I told them, if you don't make changes and you don't correct it, I am calling the Department of Disabilities. The next time I flew a week later, you would have thought the Queen of England had come to the airport. They changed the entire handicap accessibility program at the airport over here for American Airlines. Because you need to know your rights, you need to know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And my good friend Pan, she picks me up or she takes me to the airport, gets me to the right place. I say goodbye, I'll call you when I get home. And it's fine, it works. But you have to speak up. You can't sit there and say, this isn't working. Why? You have to say, listen, this is what I need, and I expect it to be done, and it gets done. So any other questions?
What are we making on Friday?
I haven't decided yet. There's going to be some kind of a salad, because last week we made decorated sponge cake with frosting. So I think this time we'll do something different, and then in 2 weeks it'll be Shavuos, so we'll do something for Shavuos. I'm not sure yet what. But we're going to be doing that. Now, what I did do, however, as a thank you for all of you coming, I'm afraid to go too far. I'm afraid to see. Do you see another bag here?
Yes.
Yeah,
If you can hand that to me, I would appreciate it. Did I get all my things?
all your stuff,
My apron.
all your stuff is
Everything
on a
up
different
here?
table over there,
Okay,
all the
fine.
stuff you
No,
cut and
When I'm
everything.
done speaking, they'll help me with it.
Yeah.
What I have here
Yeah,
is I tell everybody I do all my own cooking. I showed you how I cook, and I do all my own baking. And I asked Rabbi Wolf, if I bake something, can I bring it to this program? He said, yes, but you have to tell everybody that you baked it at home. On Sunday, I made 10 dozen chocolate chip cookies, and I packaged each two cookies in a bag. And I'm going to hand them out for anybody who wants one. They're all OU. I use gold medal flour. I use domino sugar and shortening and stuff. So it's all parv. I only bake parv. The only only milchik that I bake is cheesecake and cheese danishes for Shavuos. Everything I bake is parv. So if anybody wants a cookie, so
I first of all want to thank Mindy, and I want to thank all of you for being such a wonderful and respectful audience.